I need you to take a moment right now and be completely honest with yourself. Look inside your mind and ask yourself, how many times have you sat there waiting, hoping, praying, planning, but never actually moving? How many dreams have you buried because you were waiting for the perfect time, the right moment, or some imaginary sign from the universe? How many times have you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow, only to find that tomorrow turned into months, even years of lost potential? I want you to feel that weight, the heaviness of hesitation, the suffocating silence of inaction, the pain of watching opportunities slip through your fingers while you stand frozen. Because right now, in this very moment, you are standing at a crossroads. One path leads to regret, mediocrity, and a life of what ifs. The other path leads to action, momentum, growth, and a version of yourself so powerful, so relentless, so unstoppable that you will shock even yourself. I'm not here to sugarcoat the truth. I'm not here to tell you that success will come easy, or that fear will disappear, or that the world will wait for you to catch up. I'm here to tell you something far more important. Everything you are waiting for, every opportunity, every breakthrough, every dream already exists on the other side of action. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the decision to start right now. You have been trained to believe that timing matters, that preparation matters, that perfection matters. And that belief has kept you trapped, stuck in the same patterns, watching life pass by while your potential gathers dust. But the truth is brutal and beautiful at the same time. The right time does not exist. The perfect moment is a lie. Waiting is the enemy. Fear is a compass. Hesitation is a chain. And action is the only weapon that can set you free. And here's the thing. You already have everything you need inside of you to begin. The courage, the talent, the intelligence, the resilience, they are already there. What's missing is the spark, the ignition, the decision to stop sitting and start moving. Every second you hesitate, every second you doubt, every second you let fear dictate your choices, you are choosing stagnation. But the moment you decide to act, everything changes. Your mindset sharpens, your energy surges, your confidence builds, and suddenly the life that seemed impossible begins to feel inevitable. Action is contagious. Momentum is unstoppable. And the one thing that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary is the willingness to start before you feel ready, to move while others wait, to act while others hesitate. So listen closely, because what you are about to hear is not just another motivational speech. It's a blueprint, a battle plan, a wake-up call designed to shake you from the comfort of your excuses and catapult you into relentless action. If you stay with me, if you internalize every word, if you let it burn in your mind, your life will never be the same. You will feel the fire, the urgency, the intensity, the raw truth that waiting is killing your potential. You will be forced to confront your fears, your doubts, your excuses, and you will learn exactly how to demolish them step by step. By the end of this, hesitation will no longer have power over you. Fear will no longer control you. And the version of yourself who has been waiting in the shadows will step into the light, ready to conquer, ready to act, ready to win. Your time is now. Your moment is now. And if you are ready to stop waiting, to stop doubting, to stop giving your power away, then I promise you what you are about to experience will ignite something inside you that cannot be turned off. Get ready, because everything changes the moment you decide to start. You keep telling yourself, I'll start tomorrow. I'll wait until things are perfect. I'll do it when the time is right. And that's where the trap begins. Right there in your mind, whispering sweet lies. You think you need the perfect circumstances, the perfect opportunity, the perfect motivation. But here's the truth. There is no perfect moment. The world doesn't pause for anyone. The universe doesn't hold its breath until you feel ready. Life keeps moving. Time keeps ticking. And if you are waiting for perfection, you are wasting your most valuable asset, your time. The illusion of the right time is the greatest thief of dreams. It's a clever trick that disguises fear as patience. You tell yourself you are being smart, being careful, waiting for the right window to open. But in reality, waiting is often a disguised form of procrastination. You are not waiting. You are running from the discomfort that comes with starting. You think the conditions need to be ideal, that everything has to line up perfectly, that money, support, knowledge, or skill has to appear all at once. But nothing ever does. No one has it all figured out at the start. Every success story, every person who achieved something remarkable began in the middle of uncertainty, in the midst of chaos, in circumstances that were far from perfect. They didn't wait for the stars to align. They didn't pause for the right time. They acted. They moved forward while everyone else hesitated, while everyone else made excuses, while everyone else stayed stuck in the false comfort of later. You see, perfection is a lie. A mirage created by your own mind to keep you safe. Safety is not the path to greatness. Comfort is not the path to achievement. Waiting for the right time is just another way of choosing comfort over growth, choosing fear over action, choosing excuses over results. And here's what most people don't realize: that right time you are waiting for will never come exactly as you imagine it. There will always be obstacles. There will always be uncertainty. There will always be reasons to wait. Life is messy. Life is unpredictable. The only moment you truly have is now, right now, not tomorrow, not when the conditions are perfect, not when you feel fully ready. Right now is the only opportunity you can claim and turn into progress. That is why those who take action immediately, regardless of circumstances, always get ahead. They understand that waiting is wasted energy, that hesitation is silent surrender. They don't wait for external validation. They don't wait for external conditions. They create their own conditions by acting, by pushing forward, by starting even when they feel fear, even when they feel doubt, even when they feel unsure. Waiting for the right time is a subtle way to hand over your power to life, to circumstances, to other people. When you wait, you are giving your destiny to chance, to luck, to random opportunity. But when you start now, you reclaim your power. You become the force that moves the needle, the architect of your own journey. Every second you waste waiting is a second someone else is taking action. Every day you postpone your dreams is a day someone else is building theirs. And make no mistake, life does not wait. Life is not patient. Life rewards those who act, those who take the leap, those who are willing to step into the unknown even when it's uncomfortable. Understand this: the illusion of the right time is fueled by fear. Fear that you will fail, fear that you will make mistakes, fear that people will judge you. But guess what? Those fears will never disappear. They will not vanish if you wait. The only way to defeat them is by moving forward in spite of them. Action destroys fear. Momentum crushes hesitation. Every step you take, no matter how small, chips away at the illusion and brings you closer to reality. The reality that you are capable, that you can learn as you go, that you don't need to wait to be ready, because readiness is built through the process, not before. Look around. Look at every person you admire, every entrepreneur, every athlete, every creator, every leader. They did not wait. They started imperfectly. They started uncertainly. They started with limited knowledge, limited resources, limited confidence, but they started. And by starting, they created opportunities. They discovered solutions. They found support. They gained skill. They built momentum. And that's exactly what you are missing when you wait. Momentum. The moment you take the first step, everything changes. The path begins to form under your feet. The pieces start moving. The doors you thought were closed begin to open. But if you stay frozen, if you keep waiting for the perfect moment, nothing will happen and nothing will change. The world will keep moving and your dreams will fade into the distance while someone else lives the life you were too scared to start chasing. So stop believing in the right time. Stop waiting for external conditions. Stop letting fear dictate when you begin. The perfect moment is a myth. The stars do not need to align. You do not need permission. You do not need anyone to believe in you. You only need courage. You only need action. You only need to take the first step. No matter how imperfect, no matter how uncomfortable, no matter how uncertain, that step will ignite momentum. That step will generate energy. That step will signal to your mind, to your body, and to the universe that you are serious, that you are ready, that you will not wait any longer. Remember, waiting for the right time is an excuse. Starting now is freedom. Starting now is power. Starting now is what separates dreamers from achievers. Stop giving your life away to the idea of later. Take ownership today. Take action today. Step into the unknown today. And when you look back years from now, you will not remember the day you waited. You will remember the day you started. That moment, that first courageous, imperfect step is what changes everything. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Don't search for perfection. Start right now, because the only real right time is the time you decide to act. The only real right time is this moment. The only real right time is when you choose to stop being a spectator in your own life and start being the driver of your destiny. Stop waiting. Start now. You can have the best intentions in the world. You can plan every detail, write down every goal, visualize every outcome, and rehearse every scenario in your mind. You can tell yourself over and over that you're going to make a change, start a business, lose weight, learn a skill, or chase a dream. But intentions, no matter how pure, no matter how passionate, will never create results on their own. Intention without action is nothing more than wishful thinking. It is like standing at the edge of a swimming pool, imagining yourself swimming, but never jumping in. You might picture yourself gliding through the water, strong and powerful, but until you put your body into motion, until you take the leap, the vision stays exactly that, a dream. Action is what separates the people who succeed from the people who talk about success. Action is what converts thought into reality, planning into progress, desire into achievement. Think about it. Every idea that ever changed the world started as a thought in someone's mind. Every invention, every movement, every business, every achievement began as an intention. But intention alone did not create impact. What? Created impact was the moment someone acted. They took imperfect steps. They made mistakes. They stumbled. They faced resistance. But they moved. They risked. They did what so many others only imagined doing. And that movement, the act of doing, is what created momentum. Momentum that intention alone could never generate. You see, the world does not reward thought. The world does not reward planning. The world rewards execution. Execution is the currency of success. You can think, you can hope, you can dream, you can prepare, but until you move, until you act, nothing changes. So why do so many people get stuck in intention? Because action requires courage. Action requires commitment. Action demands discomfort, uncertainty, and the willingness to fail. Intention feels safe because it allows you to feel productive without the risk of failure. You can tell yourself, I have a plan. I'm getting ready. I will start soon. And it feels like progress. But it's an illusion. Sitting in preparation, sitting in analysis, sitting in hope is not progress. It is paralysis. And every day that passes without action is a day your dream slips further away. Every moment spent only intending is a moment lost. Momentum waits for no one. Results wait for no one. Life rewards those who act, those who take the first step, those who start before they are ready, before the conditions are perfect, before the fear disappears. Action does something that intention never can. It creates clarity. The moment you start, you learn. The moment you move, the path becomes visible. You discover what works, what doesn't, what needs adjustment. Action teaches. Intention only theorizes. You can sit and plan endlessly, trying to account for every variable, trying to imagine every obstacle, but you will never know the full picture until you are in the middle of it. You will never understand your strength, your resilience, your creativity, your resourcefulness, until you act. Action is a teacher that rewards those who are willing to learn through doing, through trial, through persistence. And make no mistake, failure is not the enemy. Inaction is. Fear of failure keeps you planning. Fear of discomfort keeps you waiting. But action transforms fear into experience, into insight, into power. Every mistake, every setback, every stumble along the way is evidence that you are moving, that you are growing, that you are learning how to succeed. Think about the people who achieved their dreams. They are not the ones who had the clearest plans or the smartest ideas. They are the ones who started, who kept moving, who refused to let hesitation dictate their pace. They acted when it was hard. They acted when it was uncomfortable. They acted when the odds were against them. They acted when they felt unprepared. And because they acted, they created opportunities that never existed before. Action generates results, but it also generates confidence. Momentum breeds belief. When you take one step, then another and another, you start to realize your power, your capability, your strength. You start to see that you are not defined by your doubts or your fears, but by your willingness to move forward despite them. That is why action beats intention every single time, because intention is static. Action is dynamic. Intention dreams, action conquers, and understand this, action compounds. One small step today creates another step tomorrow. One decision to act creates momentum that accelerates progress. It doesn't matter if the step is tiny. It doesn't matter if it's imperfect. It doesn't matter if you stumble. What matters is that you move. What matters is that you choose to do rather than only think. Consistency in action transforms potential into reality. That is why the people who start even with limited resources, even with limited skill, even with limited confidence, often surpass those who wait for the perfect plan, the perfect moment, or the perfect circumstances. Because action breeds learning, growth, and opportunity, while intention breeds delay, regret, and wasted potential. You must also understand that action sends a signal to your mind and your environment. When you act, your brain begins to recognize that you are serious. Your body adapts to the effort. Your habits begin to form. Opportunities start to notice you. Doors you didn't know existed open when you take steps toward them. Action generates energy. Action generates momentum. Action generates life. Waiting, thinking, intending, it generates nothing. You may feel busy with intention, but until there is motion, until there is movement, nothing transforms. You cannot sit in your thoughts and expect the world to deliver what you imagine. You must show up. You must move. You must do. So today, let this sink in. You can plan, you can dream, you can imagine, but the only way to make those dreams real is through action. Action beats intention every time because action creates results. Intention only creates hope. Action teaches you lessons. Intention only creates illusions. Action builds momentum. Intention only builds excuses. Action transforms life. Intention only transforms thinking. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is not their ideas. It is their willingness to move. It is their commitment to start, to try, to persist, and to refuse to let hesitation hold them back. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for clarity that will never come. Stop waiting for fear to disappear. Stop waiting for the right moment. Start. Start imperfectly. Start unprepared. Start today. Take that first step, no matter how small, no matter how uncertain. Because action beats intentio every single time. Action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Action is the spark that ignites your potential. Action is the force that separates dreamers from achievers, talkers from doers, wishers from winners. Start now and watch how everything changes. Fear is the silent thief that steals dreams before they ever see the light of day. It hides behind your excuses, whispers in your ear, and convinces you that you are not ready, that the moment is not right, that failure is inevitable. Fear disguises itself as caution, as patience, as planning. But underneath it all, fear is simply a wall you are building between yourself and your destiny. It is the invisible chain that keeps you locked in a life far smaller than what you are capable of achieving. And here's the harsh truth. Fear will never completely disappear. Waiting for courage to arrive, waiting for confidence to appear, waiting for the perfect moment when fear no longer exists is the same as waiting for life itself to stop moving. That moment will never come. Fear is part of the journey, part of the process, part of the battlefield you must cross if you want to reach greatness. The difference between those who succeed And those who fail is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to act despite it. Most people think that fear is a reason to wait, to hesitate, to postpone action, to avoid discomfort. They think that fear is a signal that they are not ready. But fear is not a warning. It is a compass. Fear points to exactly where you need to go. Fear shows you the boundary of your comfort zone, the edge of the life you have outgrown, the threshold you must cross to grow, to learn, to become more than you are today. The people who achieve remarkable things do not wait for fear to vanish. They recognize fear, acknowledge it, and step forward anyway. They understand that fear is temporal. That courage is built through action, and that every step taken in spite of fear strengthens the mind, the body, and the spirit. Fear is not your enemy. Inaction is. The real barrier is your willingness to let fear dictate your choices. Think about every moment in your life where you felt fear. Maybe it was starting a new project, speaking in public, confronting someone, pursuing a dream, or leaving a situation that no longer served you. That fear was not the problem. The problem was what you did with it. Did you let it paralyze you? Did you let it convince you to stay where you were comfortable, even though comfortable was killing your potential? Or did you recognize that the discomfort was a signal, not a stop sign? Fear is a test. Every great person you admire, every leader, every innovator, every champion faced fear in the moments that mattered most. The difference is they refused to obey it blindly. They acted with fear, not in the absence of it. And that is why their lives became extraordinary, while the lives of those who waited remained ordinary. Fear thrives in your mind when you overthink. It grows when you imagine the worst case scenarios. It multiplies when you focus on what could go wrong instead of what could go right. But the antidote to fear is not waiting for clarity. It is action. Every step you take toward your goal, every effort you make, every time you push yourself beyond what feels safe, fear diminishes. Not because it disappears, but because you gain proof that you are stronger than it. You realize that the worst case scenario is rarely as catastrophic as your imagination painted it to be. You learn that you can handle uncertainty, that you can recover from mistakes, that you can grow through discomfort. Action does not eliminate fear. It transforms it into fuel, into motivation, into energy that propels you forward. Fear also feeds on comparison. You look at what others have done, what they have achieved, and fear whispers that you are not good enough, not ready enough, not capable enough. It tells you that the gap between you and success is too wide, that you will fail, that you will be embarrassed. But here's the truth. Everyone experiences fear. Every successful person you see, every individual who achieves something extraordinary, face the same doubts, the same insecurities, the same internal battles. The only difference is that they decided to focus on their own journey, to take the steps that were required, and to let fear guide them, not stop them. You cannot allow comparison or doubt to give fear the power to freeze you. You must act in alignment with your own purpose, your own goals, your own vision. Another truth about fear is that it is amplified by waiting. The longer you hesitate, the louder it becomes. The more you delay action, the more power fear gains in your mind. That is why waiting for courage to arrive is a trap. Courage is not something you wait for. It is something you summon through action. Every time you take a step despite fear, courage grows. Every time you face the uncomfortable, the unknown, or the risky, you expand your capacity. Every small victory over fear compounds, building resilience, confidence, and mental strength. And the most important thing to remember is that fear does not vanish even as you succeed. It simply shifts. New challenges bring new fears. But the person who has learned to act in spite of fear does not need fear to disappear. They know how to keep moving anyway. Fear is also deceptive. It tells you that waiting will make things easier, that delaying will somehow reduce risk, that preparing longer will remove the possibility of failure. But life does not work that way. No amount of waiting, planning, or wishing can remove the inherent uncertainty of any meaning. NG, full action. Waiting only delays your progress. Fear lies to you And in believing it, you trade potential for temporary comfort. You trade growth for stagnation. You trade dreams for excuses. And the most painful consequence is that when you finally decide to act, years may have passed, opportunities may have vanished, and regret may have taken root. Inaction, fueled by fear, is far more destructive than failure itself. Failure teaches. Fear without action destroys. So the challenge is clear. Recognize fear for what it is. Understand its purpose, but refuse to let it control you. Step into discomfort. Lean into the unknown. Take the action that your fear is warning you about, and let each step prove to yourself that you are capable. Fear is not the barrier. Your willingness to obey it is. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move in spite of it. And every single moment you act despite fear, you grow stronger, smarter, and more prepared for the next challenge. The moment you stop waiting for fear to vanish and start moving, life begins to respond. Doors open, opportunities appear, and momentum builds. Fear is the real barrier, yes, but it only has the power you give it. Take it seriously, but don't obey it blindly. Respect it, but do not let it rule your choices. Feel it, but do not let it freeze you. Step into it, move through it, and let it fuel your journey instead of halting it. The only way to break through the barrier of fear is to act, to persist, to refuse to wait, and to trust yourself in the process. Fear is inevitable. Action is optional. The people who win in life are the ones who choose action. The people who remain stuck are the ones who choose fear. Choose wisely, choose courage, choose action. Start now, step forward, and watch fear transform from an enemy into a guide, from a wall into a doorway, from a barrier into a bridge toward your dreams. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in life, yet most people underestimate it. They think confidence comes first, that clarity comes first, that skill comes first. But the truth is, action creates momentum, and momentum creates confidence. You see, confidence is not a feeling that magically appears overnight. It is a product of repeated effort, of consistent movement, of showing up again and again, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's uncertain, even when it seems impossible. Every step you take, every action you commit to builds a chain reaction inside your mind. That chain reaction becomes momentum, and momentum, once it starts rolling, cannot be easily stopped. It carries you forward, powering your decisions, fueling your belief, and giving you the courage to take even bigger steps. Momentum is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Without it, even the best intentions, the clearest goals, the most precise plans remain stuck in your imagination. When you start taking action, even small, imperfect action, something amazing happens. The resistance that once seemed insurmountable begins to weaken. Doubts that once paralyzed you begin to fade. The more you move, the more energy builds, the more clarity emerges, and the more belief grows. Momentum is not just physical, it is mental, emotional, and spiritual. Each time you push forward, you are proving to yourself that you can handle challenge, that you can overcome difficulty, that you are capable of more than you imagined. Confidence does not come from waiting to feel ready. Confidence comes from seeing yourself in motion, seeing yourself take steps, seeing yourself create results, and realizing that you can handle whatever comes next. That is the secret most people miss. Confidence is a consequence of action, not a prerequisite. Many people fail to start because they believe they must first feel confident, that they must first know everything, that they must first be perfect. That is a lie. Confidence is built on doing, on learning through doing, on experiencing progress. Every time you move forward, you collect evidence of your capability. You begin to trust yourself because you have proven that you can act, adapt, and survive. That trust is confidence. Momentum feeds that trust. Momentum is like a snowball rolling down a hill. It starts small, maybe barely noticeable, but as it moves, it grows, gains speed, and becomes unstoppable. The moment you start, even imperfectly, you start building your snowball. The more you act, the bigger it gets. The bigger it gets, the more unstoppable you feel. And the unstoppable feeling becomes confidence, determination, and unshakable belief in your ability to succeed. Momentum also protects you from the doubts and distractions that can destroy potential. When you are moving forward, when you are creating, when you are building, there is less room for fear to creep in. When momentum is strong, hesitation loses power. When momentum is strong, excuses shrink. When momentum is strong, even external obstacles seem smaller because your energy and your belief are already in motion, carrying you through. Think of a ball rolling down a hill. Once it reaches a certain speed, nothing can stop it without tremendous effort. That is exactly how momentum works in life. Once you begin to move consistently, confidence grows naturally and your capacity to overcome challenges expands exponentially. The beauty of momentum is that it compounds over time. One step leads to another. One success leads to another. One action reinforces the next. You don't have to be perfect or have everything figured out. You just have to start and then keep moving. The very act of progress, even if slow, strengthens why? Our belief in yourself. And that belief transforms into confidence, which in turn propels you to take even bigger actions, creating even more momentum. It is a cycle. Action creates momentum. Momentum builds confidence. Confidence fuels more action, and the cycle continues. That is why those who start early, those who take imperfect steps consistently, those who refuse to wait for readiness, always pull ahead. They understand that the only way to gain real confidence is to earn it through experience, through motion, through momentum. Another thing to understand is that momentum is not built by giant leaps alone. It is built by consistent, deliberate steps, by showing up day after day, by refusing to quit. You don't need to make everything perfect. You don't need to have massive breakthroughs immediately. You need to start, and then you need to keep going. Momentum is nurtured in the small victories, in the incremental progress, in the repeated effort. Every phone call you make, every page you write, every small decision you execute adds to the energy that propels you forward. And as that energy grows, so does your confidence, because you have proof. You have tangible evidence that you can handle the work, that you can manage the process, that you can overcome resistance. Momentum is proof. Momentum is trust. Momentum is the fuel for courage. Fear, doubt, and hesitation cannot withstand momentum. When you are moving, when you are building, when you are taking action, fear loses its grip. Doubt loses its power. Obstacles become challenges to overcome rather than barriers to stop you. Momentum transforms resistance into opportunity. Every time you move forward, you break the chains of uncertainty. Every time you take action, you reinforce your belief in your own ability. And that belief is confidence, the kind of confidence that can carry you through setbacks, failures, difficult circumstances without losing your direction. Confidence is not born from comfort. It is born from motion. From proving to yourself repeatedly that you can handle life, that you can handle challenges, that you can handle yourself. Momentum also has the effect of making opportunities appear. When you are moving forward, doors open that were invisible when you were stagnant. People notice your energy. The universe responds to your action. Small successes compound into bigger ones, creating a ripple effect. And as your momentum grows, so does your confidence in seizing the next opportunity, tackling the next challenge, and aiming for the next level. That is why starting is so critical. Without starting, without action, there is no momentum, no growth, no confidence, and no progress. So understand this. Confidence is not the first step. Confidence is the result. The first step is action. The first step is showing up. The first step is refusing to wait. The first step is moving, even when you feel scared, even when you feel uncertain, even when you feel unprepared. Every step builds momentum. Every moment in motion builds evidence that you can handle the journey. And that evidence transforms into unshakable confidence. The kind of confidence that refuses to be shaken by setbacks. The kind that drives consistent action. The kind that turns dreams into reality. Momentum is the secret that separates talkers from doers, dreamers from achievers, and intention from impact. The choice is yours. Stay frozen, hoping confidence will appear, or start now. Take action and let momentum build the kind of confidence that carries you past fear, past doubt, and past every obstacle that stands between you and your dreams. Momentum is motion. Motion builds strength. Strength builds belief. Belief builds courage. Courage builds results. Take the first step today and watch how momentum transforms your confidence, your energy, and your life. Most people look at success and see only the end result, the big house, the thriving business, the trophy, the recognition, the wealth, the fame. They see the mountain peak and feel overwhelmed by the distance between where they are and where they want to be. They tell themselves, it's too much. I'll never get there. Maybe later. They forget that every monumental achievement in history was built one small step at a time. The truth is, small steps create big results. The actions that may seem insignificant today, the choices that feel tiny, the efforts that feel minimal, all accumulate over time, compounding into massive, unstoppable momentum. Every small step you take is an investment in your future, a brick in the foundation of your dreams, a signal to your mind, your body, and your environment that you are serious about change. Small steps are powerful because they are achievable. The moment you try to leap a mountain in a single bound, fear and doubt paralyze you. You freeze, you hesitate, you do nothing. But when you focus on a single, manageable step, writing one page, making one call, taking one small action, you create a sense of accomplishment. That accomplishment fuels the next step. And then the next, and then the next. It is the accumulation of these small, deliberate actions that transforms the impossible into the inevitable. The people who achieve extraordinary things do not start by conquering everything at once. They start by moving consistently in the right direction, one step at a time. Every step matters, no matter how small it feels. Every step compounds. Every step shapes your trajectory. Consistency in small steps is the hidden engine of success. You might not see immediate results. You might feel like you are moving slowly. You might think your effort is invisible, meaningless, or insignificant. But that is a lie. Every small action adds up, whether you notice it today, tomorrow, or in 5 years. Just like drops of water carve rivers through stone, small, repeated actions carve success out of persistence. Every moment you invest in growth, skill, or progress builds a ripple effect that eventually becomes a wave. And that wave carries you past obstacles, past doubts, past failures, and past the people who laughed at you or doubted you. The people who achieve greatness understand the power of compounding small actions. They know that massive results are rarely instant. They are the consequence of relentless, consistent effort. Small steps also teach you lessons that giant leaps cannot. When you take manageable actions, you gain clarity about what works and what doesn't. You learn from mistakes without being crushed by them. You adjust, refine, and improve continuously. The beauty of small steps is that they allow you to iterate, to grow stronger, to develop resilience, and to adapt as you move forward. They allow you to experiment without risking everything, to build confidence while gaining experience. Every tiny action, every small decision is feedback from life itself, shaping you into someone capable of handling greater challenges. It is through these incremental steps that you build both competence and confidence simultaneously. Many people fail to start because they overestimate the effort required for success. They imagine that they need to transform everything at once, that they need massive resources, that they need perfect conditions. That is a trap. Perfection and magnitude are illusions. Progress begins with action, and action begins with a single step. The key is to focus on what you can do today, what you can control right now, and to take that step without waiting for permission, approval, or ideal circumstances. Each small step is a victory over procrastination, over doubt, and over the fear of failure. Each small step is proof that you are moving, proof that you are serious, proof that you are capable of creating change. Small steps also maintain momentum. When you take one action, it creates a psychological shift. Your mind recognizes accomplishment. Your energy rises. Your confidence grows. That single step propels you forward into the next step and then the next. Momentum builds gradually, silently, until it becomes unstoppable. One day, looking back, you realize how far you've come, not because of a single massive action, but because of the countless small steps you took consistently, without fanfare, without recognition, without hesitation. That is the secret most people miss. Success is a process, not a moment. Greatness is built quietly, steadily, and deliberately, step by step, day by day. Another powerful aspect of small steps is that they are manageable, making it easier to start. Often, the hardest part of any journey is simply beginning. The mind resists change. Fear magnifies the unknown. The ego sabotages progress. But when you commit to just one small action, the barrier to start becomes minimal. You don't need to climb the entire mountain at once. You only need to take the next step. And once that step is taken, the next step seems easier. The next action becomes natural, and the journey begins to unfold. The path may still be long, but each step gives you proof that the distance can be crossed. Small steps remove the paralysis that comes from focusing on the big picture. They make action possible, and action is the only pathway to results. Small steps also reduce the fear of failure. A massive leap carries massive risk, and fear can paralyze you in the face of such risk. But small steps are low risk. They allow you to move forward while minimizing the consequences of mistakes. You fail at a small step, you learn, adjust, and try again. Failure becomes a teacher rather than a barrier. Every small step forward, even if imperfect, is a victory because it moves you closer to your goals and builds your resilience along the way. Small steps turn fear into fuel, mistakes into lessons, and progress into momentum. Finally, small steps compound over time into extraordinary results. Just as saving a little money consistently grows into wealth, or practicing a little every day grows into mastery, small actions accumulate to produce outcomes far beyond what seems possible in the moment. The magic is in consistency. The power is in persistence. The results are in the compounding effect. A single day's effort may feel negligible. A single week's effort may seem invisible. But the sum of days, weeks, months, and years of consistent, deliberate action is what produces greatness. Small steps are not just the way to achieve your goals. They are the way to transform yourself, your mindset, and your life. So understand this. You do not need a giant leap to start your journey. You do not need perfection. You do not need permission. You only need the willingness to take the next small step right now, and then the next, and then the next. That is how mountains are climbed, empires are built, and dreams are realized. Small steps create big results because every action matters. Every choice compounds. Every effort accumulates. And every moment invested in progress moves you closer to the life you desire. Start small. Start imperfect. Start today. And watch as the ripple of small steps transforms into a wave of massive, unstoppable results. Regret is one of the heaviest burdens a person can carry. And yet most people live their lives as if it doesn't exist, as if it will somehow avoid them. They tell themselves, I'll try later. I'll start tomorrow. I'll wait until I'm ready. And what they don't realize is that every day they postpone, every moment they hesitate, they are planting the seeds of regret. Failure is temporary. Mistakes are lessons, but regret lingers. Regret festers. Regret whispers in your mind long after the opportunity has passed, long after the moment is gone, long after the world has moved on. Regret is the silent killer of dreams. It is the enemy that never leaves your side, the one that follows you into your sleep, the one that taints your memories with what ifs and if onlys. And here is the unflinching truth. Failure, as terrifying as it seems, is far less dangerous than regret. Failure can teach you. Failure can strengthen you. Failure can guide you. Regret does nothing but haunt you, paralyze you, and remind you of what could have been, of what you should have done, and of the courage you refuse to summon. People fear failure. They fear looking foolish. They fear losing money, time, respect, or comfort. But the truth is, failure is finite. It comes, it teaches, it passes. Mistakes burn briefly. then fade, leaving only the lessons and the growth. Regret, however, is permanent. Regret cannot be undone. Regret is the ghost of opportunities lost, of courage never used, of action never taken. Every person who has ever accomplished something extraordinary will tell you that failure was part of the journey, part of the learning process, part of the growth. But they also know that regret would have been far worse than any failure they experienced, because failure could be faced, corrected, and transformed, while regret is a weight that builds silently and invisibly, crushing dreams and peace of mind alike. Regret often comes disguised as caution. You tell yourself, I'm thinking this through, I'm being careful, I'll wait until the time is right. And at first, it feels smart, it feels responsible, it feels But over time, that caution becomes hesitation, hesitation becomes inaction, and inaction becomes regret. Every moment you hesitate is a moment that slips into history without your contribution. Every opportunity you pass over becomes a what if that follows you for years. Regret is not caused by trying and failing. It is caused by doing nothing. It is caused by waiting, by postponing, by listening to fear, by trusting that later will somehow arrive and be perfect. Later rarely comes. Perfect never comes. And when you look back, the realization hits with a sharpness that can be unbearable. You waited too long. You let life pass you by. You refused to act when action was available. That is the true danger, the real enemy, and the burden that haunts people for decades. Regret also has a subtle corrosive effect on the mind and soul. When we accumulate regrets, we start to believe in our own limitations. We tell ourselves, I never could. I should have, I can't, it's too late. Regret rewires the mind to see limitation instead of possibility. It anchors the spirit in fear, disappointment, and self-doubt. And this is why action, even if imperfect, is always better than hesitation. Action may fail, action may stumble, action may be messy, but action gives life meaning, gives lessons, gives growth. Regret gives nothing. Regret steals your peace. Regret robs you of your potential. And once it takes root, it is very difficult to uproot, because it becomes a lens through which you view every choice, every opportunity, every moment thereafter. Many people underestimate the power of regret because they are focused on avoiding the temporary sting of failure. But think carefully, which would you rather face, failing and learning, or never trying and living with the question marks forever? Which would you rather feel? The brief pain of a mistake or the decades-long ache of knowing you never even tried? The human mind has a remarkable ability to forgive failure, to adapt to loss, to recover from defeat. But it has almost no mercy for regret. Regret is like a shadow that never leaves you, growing longer as you age, whispering what could have been louder with every passing year. Those who conquer their dreams, those who live fully, those who achieve greatness, understand this. They understand that failing is temporary, learning is invaluable, and moving forward is the only antidote to regret. Regret is also amplified by inaction in the company of opportunity. Opportunities are fleeting. People who hesitate often see their chance disappear in moments while the world keeps moving. Jobs, partnerships, relationships, investments, experiences, and moments of personal growth will not wait. Time does not pause. Fear does not disappear. Waiting is a guarantee of lost opportunity. And when that chance has passed, all that remains is regret. This is why it is essential to act now, to take the leap, to risk failure, to risk discomfort, because the alternative, inaction, ensures regret. It may feel safer to wait. It may feel less risky to hesitate, but in truth, the risk of regret far outweighs the temporary discomfort of trying and failing. The people who embrace action understand that mistakes are not defeat. They are stepping stones. They understand that failing is a process of refining, adjusting, and improving. They understand that courage is built through experience, not through avoidance. And they understand that regret is not avoidable through perfection. It is avoidable through effort. Every single time you act, no matter how small, no matter how messy, you are building a life that is free from the paralyzing weight of regret. Every single time you take a step toward your goals, you are telling yourself, your mind, and the universe that you refuse to be held hostage by fear. Every single act of courage, no matter the outcome, is a victory over the true enemy, regret. Regret can also rob you of relationships, dreams, and opportunities for impact. The people who waited too long, who hesitated, who feared failure, often look back and see not only what they did not achieve, but also what they did not give, what they did not share, and what they did not attempt. Regret is not just personal. It affects everyone around you. By waiting, by hesitating, by fearing failure, you deny yourself the chance to contribute, to create, to inspire, to lead, to love fully. Regret multiplies silently in the absence of action. Every day you hesitate is a day you let life's most valuable experiences slip by, a day you refuse to seize your own potential. So, understand this clearly. Failure is temporary. Regret is permanent. Mistakes teach. Hesitation destroys. Action may hurt. Hesitation will haunt you. Moving forward may bring setbacks, but it also brings growth, momentum, and lessons. Waiting may feel safe, but it guarantees regret. The people who win in life, who live without the weight of what ifs, understand that risk is necessary, that courage is required, and that action is the only defense against regret. If you want to live a life without chains, without shadows, without haunting could-have-beens, then act, move, step forward, take risks, fail, learn, rise again, and never look back with regret. Every day you wait, regret grows stronger. Every day you act, courage grows stronger. The choice is yours. You cannot remove failure from life. It will visit all who dare, but you can choose whether regret will follow you for decades. Live boldly, live intentionally, take the first step, take the next. Don't wait, don't hesitate. Don't allow fear or comfort to dictate your story. Failure is temporary. Regret is forever. Make your moves now and free yourself from the burden that haunts those who wait too long. Start today, because every action you take is a blow against regret, a declaration of courage, and a step toward the life you deserve. Too many people live their lives waiting for tomorrow, waiting for the perfect conditions, waiting for the right time, waiting for the universe to signal that it is finally safe to take the leap. They tell themselves, I'll start next week, next month, next year. They think that preparation equals progress, that thinking equals doing, that planning equals action. But the truth is simple and brutal. Tomorrow is a mirage. Tomorrow does not exist. Tomorrow will never arrive in the form you imagine. The longer you wait, the more opportunities slip through your fingers, the more momentum you lose, the more your dreams shrink under the weight of inaction. Waiting for tomorrow is the trap that keeps ordinary people in ordinary lives while extraordinary people take action today, this moment, right now. If you want results, if you want transformation, if you want to break free from mediocrity, you must start now, not later, not when fear disappears, not when the conditions feel perfect. Now. Starting now is the antidote to procrastination, the weapon against doubt, and the key to overcoming fear. Most people confuse waiting with preparation. They think that gathering more information, waiting for the perfect timing, or rehearsing endlessly will somehow make them more capable. But this is an illusion. You are not ready. You may never feel completely ready. Fear, uncertainty, and imperfection are part of the journey, part of the process, part of the life you are building. Action does not wait for readiness. It creates readiness. Every step you take, every move you make, every effort you commit to builds competence, confidence, and clarity. Starting now is not about being perfect. It is about refusing to let hesitation rob you of the life you are capable of creating. The moment you start is the moment you reclaim control. Waiting is passive. Waiting allows fear, doubt, and external circumstances to dictate your life. Waiting lets excuses build walls around your dreams. But starting now is active. Starting now is taking ownership. Starting now is saying, I refuse to be held hostage by fear. I refuse to let my life slip away while I wait. I am taking action, and I will create results. Action always beats hesitation because it moves you out of the realm of imagination and into the realm of reality. It propels you forward. It gives you proof that you are capable. It builds momentum. And once momentum begins, you gain power over fear, clarity over confusion, and strength over doubt. Most people fail to act because they underestimate the power of starting small. They think that starting now requires giant leaps, massive resources, or perfect plans. But starting now is about taking the very next step, no matter how small. It is sending the first email, making the first call, writing the first line, making the first investment, moving your first muscle, taking your first class. That single act of motion, no matter how modest, shatters the paralysis of waiting. It creates momentum. It gives you proof. It signals to your mind, your body, and the universe that you are serious. And that momentum, once it begins, will compound, leading to confidence, growth, and results far beyond what you imagined when you were stuck waiting. Starting now also eliminates regret before it takes root. One of the heaviest burdens a person can carry is the weight of what could have been. The longer you wait, the more you allow life to slip by. Every day you delay is a day that could have been invested in progress, in learning, in growth, in achievement. Every day you wait is a day your competition, circumstances, and opportunities move forward without you. The pain of action is temporary. The pain of regret is permanent. Those who act today, even imperfectly, even with mistakes, avoid the lifelong ache of knowing they let fear, hesitation, or doubt control their life. Starting now is the path to freedom. It is the path to control. It is the path to a life without what ifs. Another truth about starting now is that it forces learning through experience. Waiting keeps you in theory, in imagination, in the comfort of what if. But the world does not reward ideas. It rewards execution. You cannot learn to swim by studying water. You cannot build skill without doing. You cannot grow your business without taking action. Every second you delay is a second of lost experience. Every day you wait is a day you deny yourself the opportunity to test, adjust, fail, and improve. Starting now places you directly in the arena. It exposes you to reality. It gives you the feedback you need. It sharpens your mind, strengthens your resolve, and teaches lessons that waiting could never deliver. Starting now also defeats fear by transforming it into fuel. Fear grows when you hesitate. Fear grows when you overthink. Fear grows when you imagine outcomes without taking steps to influence them. But when you start, fear diminishes. When you act, you gain evidence that you are capable. When you move, momentum builds and fear becomes a signal rather than a stop sign. Every small action you take today chips away at the power of fear, builds courage, and strengthens the mindset necessary to tackle the bigger challenges ahead. Action breeds confidence, experience, and resilience, and all of that begins the moment you decide to stop waiting and start doing. Waiting also creates illusions of safety that do not exist. People tell themselves, I'll start when the time is right, when I have enough money, when I have more knowledge, when everything feels perfect. But perfect conditions rarely exist. Life is messy, unpredictable, and uncertain. Waiting is not protecting you, it is imprisoning you. The sooner you start, the sooner you learn to navigate challenges, overcome obstacles, and grow through adversity. The sooner you start, the sooner you begin transforming your life. Waiting guarantees stagnation. Starting now guarantees progress. Starting now is also an act of self-respect. It is a declaration that your dreams, your goals, and your potential matter more than fear or comfort. It is a statement that you refuse to let life pass by while you wait. It is an acknowledgement that time is your most valuable resource, and you will not waste it on hesitation. Every action you take now compounds into your future, shaping the person you will become, the life you will live, and the legacy you will leave. The people who achieve greatness understand this. They start today. They start imperfectly. They start in discomfort. They start despite fear. And that is why they succeed while others remain stuck, waiting for a day that never comes. So the message is clear. Start now, not tomorrow, not next week, not when fear disappears, when conditions are perfect, or when you feel ready. Start now. Take the first step. Take the next. Build momentum. Learn through action. Crush fear. Avoid regret. Build confidence. Every moment you wait is a moment lost. Every second you hesitate is an opportunity missed. Your future self will thank you for the actions you take today. Start now. Because the life you desire, the success you dream of, and the person you are meant to become exist on the other side of action. Do not wait. Move, begin, act, and watch your world transform. Now listen carefully, because this is the part where everything changes for you. You've heard the keynotes. You've felt the intensity. You've understood that waiting, hesitation, fear, and perfectionism are nothing but chains holding you back from the life you are capable of living. But knowing is not enough. Understanding is not enough. Action is the only thing that separates those who dream from those who achieve. This is your moment. This is the line in the sand. Right now, at this very second, you have a choice to keep waiting for permission, for clarity, for comfort, for the right time, or to stand up, move forward, and take control of your destiny. The clock is ticking. Life is moving. Every second you waste is a second your future self will wish you had taken seriously. Stop waiting. Stop hesitating. Stop making excuses. Start right now. I want you to feel this. Your fear is not your enemy. Fear is your compass. It points directly to the areas in your life where growth, achievement, and transformation lie. Momentum is not just a word. It is the invisible force that separates the doers from the dreamers, the winners from the watchers, the leaders from the followers. Every small step you take, every action you commit to, builds confidence, builds resilience, builds proof that you are capable of more than you imagine. Success is not a sudden strike of luck. It is the accumulation of relentless effort compounded daily with consistency, courage, and unwavering belief. And it all begins the moment you decide that enough is enough, that you will no longer allow hesitation or fear to dictate your life. Remember, failure is temporary, but regret is permanent. Mistakes are lessons, but inaction will haunt you forever. The longer you wait, the heavier the burden of what if becomes. Life does not pause. Opportunities do not wait. Time does not stop. Your dreams, your goals, your potential, they are not going to wait for you to feel ready. They demand action. They demand courage. They demand that you take the first step, the next step, and then keep moving, even when it hurts, even when it's uncomfortable, even when everything inside of you wants to quit. Action is the antidote to regret. Motion is the weapon against fear. Consistency is the path to extraordinary results. So here's the truth you must hold on to. The right time is a myth. Waiting is a trap. Fear is temporary. Momentum builds confidence. Small steps create big results. Regret is a heavier burden than failure ever could be. And the only way to win is to start now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when it feels perfect. Start now. Take your life, your goals, your dreams, and everything you've been thinking about for years and act, move, grind, hustle, show up every single day until you cannot be ignored, until your results speak louder than your excuses, until your future self stands proud of the decisions you are making today. Your time is now. Your moment is now. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for clarity. Stop waiting for comfort. The life you want, the success you deserve, the impact you are capable of making, they are all on the other side of action. Start now, keep moving, and never look back. Because the world does not reward hesitation. It rewards those who act relentlessly, fearlessly, and with unwavering determination. Take control, step forward, and live a life so extraordinary that waiting never even enters your mind again.